Kathy Basterfield, the lovely Kathy, is here with us for our last session where we're separate. Kathy is an experienced speech pathologist and keyword sign presenter. She has worked with young children, school-aged children, as well as adults at home, at work, and in supported accommodation. Kathy has been presenting keyword sign workshops for eons, for many, many years. I won't say how many. She has a particular interest in ensuring participants feel empowered to incorporate their natural gestures. Sorry, I'm running low on power. Their natural gestures as a part of developing their signing environment. So Kathy's going to work with us on making the most of the natural gestures that we actually already know, as well as maybe some new signs as well. So take it away, Kathy. And your topic is practical session, develop your ability to combine natural gesture with new signs for older children, adults in their relative contexts. And just before I do pass it over to you, don't forget, folks, that we are recording this session. So by being in this session, you agree to us recording you at any stage. And this is a recording that's going to be shared on the Keyword Sign website. And please, you can leave your cameras on, but please put yourselves on mute so that we don't interrupt Kathy, unless she asks, of course, for us to turn our microphones on, which she's nodding her head furiously, which is not just a yes, it's like, yeah, absolutely, turn your microphones on. And yeah, so we've got about 35 minutes.
Excellent.
Okay, Kat, thank you.
Thank you so much, Vicky. And I did message Vicky to say I'm racing across from the children's session saying, hey, you know, this is some of what I did at a Goski a couple of weeks ago when Vicky was there, and very politely joined in with all her drama-filled natural gesture that one needs to be able to communicate with. Yes, it's like, oh my goodness me. So the reason that I have built this into my workshops, and particularly then when I go out to working with adults and their support staff, is to empower people to feel like they actually already have a lot at their fingertips. So it's not like I've got to learn all these signs and they'll worry that they don't have the memory, or I never was good at school, or all those things that our support staff do worry about in this space when they come to training. And it's also an opportunity for them to recognize that actually they do have so much that they do and they really don't know a whole lot about it. So what I'm going to do is start ourselves up to have a look at, just to give a bit of context for those who are keyword sign presenters in here as well. Let me remember to share my screen. This is the adult version of it. Okay, so this is us for today. So when we look at what is keyword sign, we talk about all of these things. And everyone comes to a keyword sign workshop going, I've got to learn a whole lot of signs. But in fact, if we take out that word sign keywords, lo and behold, now we can start to see that we need to go speak in full sentences, use natural gesture, add facial expression, use direction, make your natural gesture visually make sense. So if this is our starting point, we need to really start to be much more cognizant of what our natural gesture is. There's no good in saying, oh yes, we've got lots of natural gesture and it's the grey bits in the little red book. Because what happens is that they then come to us and say, what's the sign for you? What's the sign for wash my hands? What's the sign for? And I'm going, it's you, or it's this. Okay, we need to be doing much more about raising awareness that this is part of the world that we all have, and knowing that these are the things that also make sense to the general community. So when you learn to become a presenter, they talk to you about not just the fact that there are gestures, but there's a bit of a developmental phase that we go through, and gestures are also, building blocks for sign. So why aren't we using these in a much more concrete way to build confidence, to be using natural gesture and speaking and using facial expression, and then we slow down to then add a few signs to. So that's where some of this thinking comes from. So we're going to do an activity, and I've actually just done it with Mentimeter. So we're going to do it again that way because there's just a few too many people in the group for me to just, so what I would do in a face-to-face for presenters is I might type them up or I'll write them up, and we have this great long list of things that are happening. But with so many more in the room, it's just a bit harder to do. So to give us some context, these are some ideas and some examples of what might be natural gesture. So natural gesture, the simplest way to think about it is that it passes the pub test. Okay, so that means this does not get onto this list. Doing something like, let me just stand and do my jiggy might, but let's perhaps think more about our hands. Okay, you want to do that jiggy again? I can do jiggies. When they're younger, they do much more obvious things, but maybe they've been taught otherwise. So this does not pass the pub test. Neither does this. Would someone just like to raise their little yellow hand and turn their camera on and be brave and suggest what might be a natural gesture that passes the pub test? I can start you off with one if you like. Oh, but I don't know. Yep. Tracy. Oh, a drink. Okay. Oh, more drinks. Oh, and good. Okay. Drinking. Good. Oh, a huge one. Right. Beautiful. Okay. All right. Or maybe it's a bowl of soup. Yeah, beautiful. Okay. No. Oh, okay. Let's just go with a natural gesture. No. We're going to add in. No. Yeah, no. What else is another one? Someone else like to give us another suggestion for a natural gesture? Oh, sorry. Ow. Oh, could someone show us some examples of ow? Ow. Oh, you've jammed your finger. Oh.
I can't, buddy, Kath.
Sorry?
I can't see everybody on the screen. I can only see your picture.
That's okay. I can see a few people. Most people aren't brave enough to put it up. I know. But ouch. Yep. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just move on to this next slide, because what we're going to do is we're going to, let me just get rid of all these things off it, because we've got lots of things here. Why isn't that now turning down? There we go. So there's a few more hints for you. Here's a Mentimeter code. You can either go via the link or the app, or here's the code. And what I'm going to do is put that up on the screen, and we're just going to collate our own list. Because if we know what's out there, we can start to use it much more. So I'll just give you a moment just to jot that down. If you want to go via the code, we'll get it on your phone. In my other life of working with people with really low issues, I go, that requires lots of digital skills, and that's really hard to do. Okay, so let's go over there. I can pop it up into the chat box if anyone needs it. So while I'm just sharing and changing screens over, just start popping into that new screen that you've opened up all the natural gesture that, I'm just trying to find all the things, all the natural gesture that we've got. And look at this, we've got hello and hot. Goodness me, I'll have to catch up to you all. Oh, someone's put in buggered. Excellent. What's a really good natural gesture for buggered?
Kathy, you aren't screen sharing.
Oh, no, I'm just getting it up.
Cool.
I'm just chatting as I'm going. I'm chatting and screening and talking. Sleepy and eat. Okay, it'd be really interesting to know what someone's buggered. Does that mean just really tired? It's like, I'm buggered, I'm ready to school all day. That sort of one. Really tired. Yucky. Fantastic. Baby. Awesome. Let's just scroll into, I'm cold. Be quiet. Achoo. Tennis. Lovely. That's a nice one. Something very different. Dry yourself. Drying. Come here. Something that's smelly. Excellent. Phone. Now, this is an interesting one, phone. And it hasn't actually changed all that much in Kindies yet, but it is starting to. So we've got this phone. Okay. But what about this one here? When we've got these 15-year-olds, we can do it really fast. I'm still one of these. Okay. you know, doing a text message. Oops, itchy, lovely, lovely. Oh, sad, a book, great. What else might we have here? Think about, give yourself some context. Think about morning routine, either getting up in the morning or they've first arrived at their day centre or their workplace. What are some things that you might think is natural gesture here? I've got to go away. Excellent. What else have we got? Keep on going. A car and then driving your car. Yeah. And what do you do with the car? Because we've got a car. Can I make it go? What are we doing now? Versus on a Sunday afternoon, brushing teeth, beep the horn, come here, keep going. I said to you, there are at least, oh, put the seatbelt on, lovely one. Wash your face. At least 160 in our multicultural community that people will generally understand. Come. Think about the different activities that people do, whether they're doing a workplace thing where they maybe have to do some putting things in or putting things away. See if we can just get this updating for us. There's a whole lot more I'm sure you're doing. Here we go. Let's go. Excellent. Oops. Dancing. Oh, trip over. Stand up. Ah, yeah, write that down. Glasses. Fantastic. And without glasses, it's not just your glasses. What happens when they get dirty? What do we tell people to do? We say to them, take them off. You need to wipe them. It's all natural gesture. What else do we have? Think about different things besides the car. I know when many people with intellectual disability go down to the Victorian conference for people with intellectual disability in Geelong, there's a fantastic opportunity. They all get to go out on the motorbike. None of them need a sign to know that the motorbike trip's an opportunity. Now, what happens when it's you know, that's maybe it's this size versus that size? Maybe it's this versus this. Think about some actions. We've got dance. We do more than dance though. What else can we have? I think our internet is just struggling in the afternoon.
Yeah, Kath, I just sent in about 4 and they haven't come up yet.
That's right. I'll just refresh it.
Refresh, yeah.
Yeah. Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Run and walk. Oh, a full belly. Oh, digging in the garden. That's a lovely one. Pour a drink. Put your hat on. Okay. Now, if it was your hat, are we putting a sun hat on? We're putting a beanie on? Putting a cap? Or in fact, if you go to our Facebook pages, there's someone who's put up some delightful things around you know, putting a hat on for Cup Day. You know, using that whole body type thing to make it work for you. Okay, we've got throw. Okay, we can throw a ball. We can do the opposite of that. We can catch a ball, but what else gets to be thrown? And it's a different sort of thinking about throw. Some of the times when we're not using our natural gesture and sign, we'll say, throw it in the bin. What do we mean? Tying your shoelaces, fantastic. Yep. What else might we need for getting dressed? A temper tantrum. Oh, what's a natural gesture for a temper tantrum? Is that like doing the stamp your feet? You're having a temper tantrum. Okay. All right, I'll go with that one. Sort of. Yep. Can we think of something that's more like a, yeah, so where was I heading down with that one? I'll have to come back to it. All right. What about in the kitchen? We're practicing our cooking. We've got to cook some meals. We've got to get ready for breakfast. We've got to be able to make a cup of tea. What's all the natural gesture that we have in that space? Try again, see if we can get them coming up. Hey, oh, that's not what we want to do. I want to go here and try it. Come, blow your nose fully. Put on your gloves. Pull your socks up. Chopping and stirring. Oh, dunk your tea bag. Don't forget to stir. So we've got stir your sugar, but you've also got stirring, haven't you, for cooking? Pour it in. And when they're cooking cakes, they might need to crack the egg. Need to put things in the oven to pull them out. They need to wash their hands. How are they going to turn that tap on? What natural gesture do you use there? Keeps on going, doesn't it? Extraordinary, really. So when you get to the kitchen, there's a lot more action-based type things that you can really start to think about. So thinking about, you've got to get something out of the cupboard. What might you say to them? You might say, open the door. You need to close the door. But now we're going to use a different action, and we're going to say, open the dishwasher. So it's a pull down. All right. Or we need to put something in the washing machine. Well, if we've got a top loader, we're going to go this way. Front loader, we're going to go this way. It's got hot. We need to open some windows. We need to open the door. Don't forget, we've also got to get dressed. If someone's having trouble working out what that one might be. Breaking in, yes, lovely. Someone's now got, so getting dressed. So all the miming that's required. So thinking about, it's not just pulling the jumper up, it's about zipping it up, so that you can actually introduce the sign for help. And it can be, I can help you zip it up. And all you've done is introduce one new sign, because the zip is something that's a natural gesture. Don't forget to put your hat on. Okay. Do you need help to put your hat on? One sign, one gesture. Staff will feel far more comfortable. It's close to what the clients are using as well. Or the turning off and turning on. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, some descriptions. Got big and little and tall and short. What about some other things to think about? How people are feeling, what things might be. The radio's on. What might we say about the radio or the TV? And don't forget, of course, anything to do with the remote control. Besides, it's mine. Yeah, things can be loud. It can be too loud. Maybe we want it to be quiet. How do we get something to be quiet? We do this. Or we might say, turn it down if you had an old-fashioned one, hey? For all those young people who love going out and mowing the lawns, TV, yep. So TV, if we're teaching TV, that's actually a sign, remember? So that's a sign, because that's not going to pass the pub test. But if you did something like this, it might be a TV in context. But most people might think about that as a picture. Okay. Putting makeup on. Oh, excellent. Oh dear, oh dear. A WTF gesture and every other variation you can have. Absolutely. We need to be able to say these things out of frustration, or because we're at that age when we know that when mum and dad's not listening, we say those things anyway. So the list goes on and on, doesn't it? It's incredible to think that what we've got. So if I just wander back up and we can just keep on going, we've just spent 15 minutes doing this. You could spend 40 minutes, 50 minutes doing it, and you'd still come up with more, just going through all the different scenarios. What I want you to do is start to think, wow, if I've got all of this here, can I just use that? Can I practice natural gesture or body language with my facial expression, with my speech, thinking about what words I'm saying, to have an interaction. And if we can get families and support staff feeling comfortable with that, it appears to be so much easier for them to then add in just that extra sign or 2 signs to make it work for them. And now suddenly they're also signing without even realizing it. And so it's interesting going back to a piece of research that Andy mentioned just before lunch, where this group, these teachers actually went in and saying, well, you know, go in and teach 5 new signs each fortnight. Imagine if you had this starting base of we're really aware and we're always using all this natural gesture. It's going up, 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 ladies, if there's any gentlemen in here as well. Now we're going to add 5 actual signs. You've got this huge base that you're starting from. Okay, so where do we take this? What do we do? Let me just go back to where I was. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to now start to think about if we've got all of these wonderful natural gestures, and we can keep adding to it. It's still sitting there, so please go for it. And I'm sure that if I get this passed across to Chloe, she's going to be clever enough to be able to put it out on a list for us. Let's think about our natural gesture and think about what could you say about your day? So I might say my day's good, my day's great, it's really cold today. What else might you say about your day in using lots of our natural gesture? Might be something you've done. Might have been that you were tired. Might have been that you were happy. Anyone want to be game enough to suggest a natural gesture to talk about how your day was? What about if we talked about a car? Sheridan. Yay, Sherry's put her photo camera on. What sort of day are you having, Sherry?
Can we see everybody's cameras, everybody's photos, so we can share?
Do you know what I'll do is I'm going to stop sharing this and then we can see much more of people. How about we do that? Take me down off the pin.
Yeah.
Make it gallery view. There we go. Okay, so Sherry's telling us with her natural gesture that she's just, having a floppy day. Oh, not sure. Not sure that sort of day. Loud day.
A crazy day.
Crazy day. Tracy, can we just come back to you?
Excited but tired.
Oh, excited. Oh,
like
excited.
stimulated but tired.
Oh, exhausted. You look exhausted. Just look at your spot there. Tracy had one. What was Tracy's day? Oh, okay. Sleepy day. Yeah. Tina, what sort of day have you got that you want to tell us about with natural gesture? Okay, Nora's actually doing lots of typing on her day, right? Okay, typing. Yep. Yes, Victoria?
This isn't actually the day I'm having, but this could describe a day.
Yes. Yes, you can have one of those sort of days, yes. You'd also have a sort of day, yes, after. Or maybe you've had a really bad headache because you've had a big night the night before. Okay. Oh, okay. So, Bron, what was your one there? Oh, having an old lady's day. Yep. Okay. All right. A sleepy day. Absolutely. Okay. What about if it was about a car? What's a natural gesture that we could use to talk about a car? It's a really tense drive, is it?
That'd be a tense drive. This is an exciting drive.
Excited, right? Yep. Holding on for dear life drive.
A white knuckle job.
A white knuckle one. Oh, just doing a casual da-da-da-da-da sort of day, yeah. And texting at the same time, are you? Right, okay, yep. Yep, what other sort of day might you have?
Roman's confused, she doesn't know where to go. She's trying to find her way.
This is like, where am I? Yeah, okay. All right, what about, let's think about a natural gesture for a house. What sort of natural gesture can we use? So if we think about, we've taught them about a house, they've got a basic sign. How can we now expand on that to tell them to talk about it, something else. Oh, it's big. Yep, it's a big house. We also had a cold house there, didn't we? Yeah. Yeah. What other sort of house can we have? It's a little house, little house, little house. It's a great house. Yep. Yep. Okay. Could also be, oh, a smelly house, right? It's a smelly house. That's a really good one there. Yeah. Okay. A dog, because there's one sitting there at Tracy's one. What sort of dog have we got? Yeah. Okay. A crazy dog. A dog that's had a haircut. A big dog. Lovely. Lovely.
Oh.
What was your one there, Victoria, or did someone else see it?
Oh, fluffy.
Oh, a fluffy. Oh, what's that, Sherry? A scratching dog? A digging dog? No.
I don't have enough room to fit a head and a bum in to try and say rubbing his bum. Bum rubbing dog.
Right.
You just might need to use a whole body action. Okay, doing a bum rub.
I can't do the jiggle like you
so
do.
Bron's got one there, like an elbow one, like yeah. A scratching behind the ear one. Yes, a smelly one. Okay, so we've got lots of dog things. Yes. The going on a walk dog that's out of control. Yep. What was your one there, Victoria? Scratching
Fleas.
Dog. Oh, fleas. Right. Right. Can we just feed the dog? Yeah. All right. And last one here, a drink. What sort of drink can we have using our natural gesture? Oh, a fuzzle drink. Oh, a tea drink. Yes. What other sort of drink? Okay, we're having a long drink. It's going on forever. Yes, we were just doing drinks before. We were like, it's a soup bowl drink. And it's fallen all over you. Think about all the language that you're now getting by just doing this a bit more. Yep. What other sort of drinks can we have? A red drink. Oh, the drink's fallen off.
Wine?
No, it's fallen over, I think.
Oh, you've spilt your drink.
You've spilt your drink. All right. Now we're going to introduce a new one and it's wet. It's dirty. You need to now clean it. Okay, another natural gesture, you're going to clean it. Or maybe you need to wring it out. Another natural gesture. Okay. So it's extraordinary to see how much natural gesture we actually have that we can use and just build into every activity, and just think of the expansion of language that we have when we do this. And then people feel so much more comfortable, like I say. Adding one more. Yes, another one. Yes, go for it, Vicky.
Yep.
Oh, it's bubbly on your nose.
Fizzy drink.
A fizzy drink. What about one that's gone down the wrong way? Now the drink has gone down the wrong way. They're using all of your body language to make it work for you.
And you guessed what this one is, girls?
Oh, I didn't see that one. What have you done there? Oh, it's a shot.
Don't do those anymore.
Oh, funny that. Okay, so here's something now for you to practice and think about for yourselves. I'm just going to pop it up on the share screen again for a moment so that we can see it. So it's important to be using it all day, every day with everyone. But also what's really important is, like I say, is taking that starting point and now building in a few pieces of new sign and start to feel really comfortable doing sequencing. So this is based on that concept of, I went shopping and I bought, and getting people to do, half a dozen different things. But now we've got, I went for a walk. So instead of teaching people shopping and I bought and all the rest of it, I went for a walk, natural gesture, da, 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 da. And I saw, now that we've all got this natural gesture, what are some things we can start to put in here? I saw a what, Sheridan? A tiger.
Some big scary thing anyway.
A monster. I saw a monster. Okay, so what we can have is Sherry went for a walk and she saw a monster. Who'd like to add to that? Bron? I went walking and I saw a monster. Oh, a little bird in a tree. Oh, a little bird in a tree. You'd like to add to that one, Victoria? We might need to write these down to help us.
Just so you know, we've got 5 minutes, Kath. So if you've got a Mentimeter questionnaire,
at the end. Yep.
That.
So we've got a monster. We've got a bird in a tree, Victoria. What are we going to add to it?
We've got a monster and a bird in a tree and a crocodile.
Oh, my goodness. So we went for a walk and we saw a monster, a little bird in the tree, a crocodile, and, because I can only see Tracy's face, oh, rabbit. Can we have a scared rabbit, or we can have a big rabbit? What sort of rabbit? A rabbit with floppy ears. Okay. A rabbit with floppy ears. Okay. So one of the things I'm finding, if I do this, that you can actually make it, if you model to them 2 ideas, that you'll get 2 back from everyone. Okay. If you model 1, you'll get 1 item back. And so continuing to just go on. So they're just some other starter phrases to get you going and starting to just practice. So you're practicing giving the client, the staff, tools that they can go away with. And you could also then modify that and go, right, now we've learned 6 signs this week. Let's see if we can practice that with a natural gesture and a sign I've taught you. Okay. All right. There's your Mentimeter, and yours only one to go. Anyone got any questions? I could say, no, it hasn't been wrote. I haven't researched it formally, but I can tell you every time I do it, that it makes a huge difference to everyone I work with. So my clinical expertise is telling me this is working. Heather.
I've got no questions, but I just wanted to say what a brilliantly practical session, Kathy, and I've just been so entertained by the plethora of people in front of me, Sheridan and Victoria and Bron.
That's because you were on the second screen.
Laughing. Yes, I've been typing all these clever ideas.
All right, I'll go and check out what's happening, what people have put up. As there's extra ideas, we could certainly add them to that Mentimeter. They're still active and live. So if you want to add to it. But, you know, every time you do it, and one of the things too, when you actually take it out and then you get people to sit down and actually have, or stand around and go and have a conversation, they will add all these extra gestures into it as they start having a conversation, just like this sort of stuff that, you know, Sherry's doing, or waving, or whatever it is that might have been forgotten in it. Yeah. And remembering that it's all parts of language. It's not just labels, it's actions, it's social, it's descriptions. There we go. There's mine going off too. All right. I think we could all give ourselves a point of congratulations for actually managing to be here on a Sunday. And it's now 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
I just say thank you so much to Kathy. That was a great presentation. It ended up being different again from Agoski. It's amazing the mix of people always change the output and the learnings, but I think it's been a really great session. You know, just really getting people G'd up about the fact that you don't have to know the actual sign, and don't forget that, you know, you can look up a sign and you'll find, oh no, this is fingerspelt in Auslan. Well, you know, then what do? Well, you got to use the natural gesture, and that's okay. I think it's about giving people permission that it's okay to use natural gesture until they find that there is an actual sign. If they do find that, then they can introduce that. But until then, it's about assisting people to understand and giving them a way to communicate, teaching them how to communicate what they want to authentically communicate back to us and other people. So thank you very much, Kathy. Again, thank you, Tracy, as well, for your lovely session on You Are My Sunshine. That was beautiful.